Okay.
I've never been a clubber. I'm serious, I've never been a clubber. By clubber, I'm talking about, like the clubs in the city that you go and boogie the night away. It just hasn't been my thing in my 44 years of life, but I'm sure a few of you have been clubbers back in the day, right? Studio 56? Studio 54? Whatever. So you can tell, I'm not a clubber, I don't go to it. But why is it, Kenny, that you knew exactly where it was? It's, whether it be in New York City or Long Island, it's just not my scene for many, many reasons. But the main reason is whenever I go by those clubs, what I see is, I see that red velvet rope. And at that red velvet rope, there's a big, huge security guy. And normally there's an employee right there with a pad of paper. And, well, first and foremost, if you're on the list, like a VIP, then you get right on in. And then what they do, they start looking at the crowd and say, hey, oh, Heidi, you look good. You can come on in. Nancy, you better hold off. It's what they do. And finally, if all else fails, if Nancy's been standing there for 2-3 hours, they'll look at her maybe and say, okay, for a $25 cover fee, you can get on in. $25 for the privilege of going in with being with the pretty and the elite and the VIPs. I mean, that's really why I hate clubs, because why do I want to pay to be with people who think they're better than me? Imagine my surprise a few years ago, 5 years ago in August, when Carrie and I were in London, England, seeing our friends in London, and they wanted to take us out for a night on the town. And it was a night greatly planned. We were going to go out for some pre-dinner drinks, then to a dinner, and then we were going to go see a show in the West End, actually Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. And if you are in that part of London, the best place to go for a pre-dinner drink is in Soho, because Soho is where all the best clubs and bars are. It was a super duper hot day in London, and if you've ever been to Europe or London, you know that the air conditioning over there is not that good. So we were hot, we were crabby, we looked good. But we ranged in age from 39 to the mid-50s. So we weren't the material that perhaps they were looking for. And we saw this club that looked really nice. It was sort of brand new. You looked inside, really contemporary. And then there was that red velvet rope. I'm like, oh. My friends, come on, come on. So we go up to the red velvet rope, and the security guard's there. He takes one look at us, and he says it's 10 pounds each. 10 pounds for the privilege of going in and spending money to buy one drink. And I normally don't cop an American attitude, but I copped an American attitude at that moment. I just looked at him and I said, excuse me? I said, all I want to do is go into your establishment, have a drink, spend money, and leave. We're not here to dance, we're not here to do anything else, we just want to rest and be cool for one moment. Is that a problem? And the guy was so taken aback, he just opened up the red velvet rope and let us right on in. I was amazed, because honestly, he didn't want to let us in. It's amazing how people don't want to allow people in. How we put up red velvet ropes in our lives to keep people back who might be different than us who we're afraid of. Instead of having our doors wide open. This morning you heard Deacon Maxine read the gospel account from St. John's Gospel about Jesus feeding of the 5,000. Now this is an amazing story. We all know the story because it's the only miracle that is in all 4 Gospels. That's it. The only one. So I can't explain what happened. I mean, I have no clue how 5 loaves of bread and 2 little fishies was made into enough food to feed 5,000 people with 12 basketfuls left over. I mean, that's a lot. It's a perfect number, a lot of leftovers. And you know what? I don't care how it happened. Because something must have happened, because all 4 gospel writers wrote about it. But for me, what's more amazing is not the fact that these 5 fish and 2 loaves were given to everyone. It was where people wanted to turn others away. And where individuals might have said, oh, well, we can only feed certain people. Well, maybe Jesus, we should only feed our immediate disciples and our families, or the apostles, or maybe we should only feed the elite, the Pharisees or Sadducees, or maybe we should only feed this group and leave this group alone. But that 5,000 people who was following Jesus were 5,000 individuals from all walks of life. They were Jewish, they were Greek, they were Samaritans. They were old, they were young, they were widowed, they were orphaned, they were lame, they were sick, they were blind, they couldn't hear, they couldn't talk, they had leprosy. They were shunned, many of these individuals, by society, that there would be no way on God's earth that anyone would have let them through that red velvet rope. Because they were so afraid of those people. We know those people. Anyone who is different than us. But Jesus would have absolutely nothing to do with that. Because Jesus came to show the world and to show us that God is a God of love and God is a God of abundance. And that all of God's children deserve to be sharing in that abundance of Christ. And so what Jesus did is he took those 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, blessed them, had everyone that was there sit down, and everyone was fed. Everyone. No one was turned away. No one was said, you're not worthy enough. No one was said, you're better than anybody else. Everyone sat down equally, and everyone ate together. What a lesson for all of us in our own lives, especially in this day and age where what I see happening in our world is I see, instead of doors being open wide, that individuals from different walks of life keep putting up red velvet ropes. If you don't believe in this political ideology, you can't get through that rope. If you don't make a certain amount of money, you can't get through that red velvet rope. If you have mental illness or suffer from depression or anxiety or PTSD, you can't get through that red velvet rope. If you're a single mother struggling to make it by, you can't get through that red velvet rope. If you're a person who is born black in this country, you can often not get through that red velvet rope. If you're a member of the LGBT community, you can't get through that red velvet rope. If you're a child, you can't get through that rope. If you're old, you can't get through that rope. If you're disabled, you can never get through that rope. Our world around us keeps putting up those ropes, and if we're honest, you and I are doing the exact same thing sometimes in our lives. But the minute you put a rope in front of you is the minute that you start saying that you're better than someone else. And in God's eyes, that is not true. You nor I are no better than no worse. We are all created in the image of God, the Imago Dei. And as my dear friend Deacon Rosemary always says, God don't make no junk. We have an opportunity in our lives, in this parish, in our church, the Episcopal Church, in this diocese, in the Anglican Communion, to bear witness that in the Episcopal Church, in our lives, we will have no red velvet ropes. We will have nobody standing at the door checking the list to make sure that you meet proper criteria, that you can come on in, and if you don't meet those criteria, you can go somewhere else. Instead, what we should be doing is taking those doors, flying them wide open, going out into the streets and say, come on, you who are hurting, come, be part of us. You who society is abusing, come, be part of us. You that are being hated by others simply by the fact of who you are welcome in this community, and we will love you, we will care for you, and we will not hate you. My sisters, my brothers, we have a gift given to us through Christ to show his all-encompassing love. A love that hopefully you're experiencing today. A love that, should you be moved to come forward this morning to this altar to receive Christ's body and blood, that you will take him inside and experience that true gift of salvation and love that he and only he can give to us. If you leave those doors today, you can go out into the world and bear witness to that life. The former presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church, Edmund Browning, once said in the Episcopal Church, there will be no outcasts. I think we need another saying. In the Episcopal Church, there are no red velvet ropes.